A poor elderly woman steps into the path of power, risking everything to reach a president. Who should be untouchable? Ibrahim Traoré faces a choice between protocol and conscience, between the system that protects him and the people he swore to defend. What happens next will expose a conspiracy so deep it threatens to destroy everything he has built. Before we dive in, what time are you listening and where are you from? Drop a comment below and tell me. Please like and subscribe to join the Ibrahim Traoré family. The convoy moves through the outskirts of Ouagadougou at dawn. 3 vehicles cut through empty roads, heading toward a scheduled meeting at the Ministry of Defense. A Burkina Faso flag hangs motionless in the presidential office they left behind. Ibrahim Traoré sits in the center vehicle, reviewing intelligence reports on his tablet. The lead vehicle slows suddenly. The driver's voice crackles through the radio, tense and uncertain. An obstruction ahead. Ibrahim looks up from his screen, his jaw tightening. An elderly woman stands in the middle of the road. Her posture is bent but deliberate. She does not move aside. The security detail exits quickly, forming a perimeter, hands on weapons, eyes scanning rooftops and alleyways. Ibrahim watches through the bulletproof glass. The woman raises one hand, not in threat, but in plea. Her other hand clutches something against her chest. The security chief approaches her, speaking firmly, gesturing for her to step away. She shakes her head. She points directly at Ibrahim's vehicle. Her mouth moves, forming words the president cannot hear. The security chief's expression hardens. He reaches for her arm. Ibrahim opens his door before anyone can stop him. His guards freeze, caught between protocol and the chain of command. He steps onto the road, his boots echoing in the early morning silence. The woman's eyes lock onto his. She falls to her knees, her hands still clutching the object against her chest. Ibrahim walks toward her, ignoring the urgent voices of his security team. He kneels in front of her, eye level, soldier to citizen. She opens her hand. A faded photograph rests in her palm. A young man in military uniform stares back at the camera, pride visible in his stance. The woman's lips tremble as she speaks. Her son, missing for 3 months. Vanished after reporting theft at a military supply depot in Ouagadougou. Ibrahim takes the photograph gently. He studies the face, committing it to memory. He asks her name, her village, where her son was last seen. She answers in a voice barely above a whisper. Kumbia. Her son's name was Amadou Sanfo. He was an honest soldier. The word strikes Ibrahim like a physical blow. The woman's use of past tense tells him she already knows. She is not here seeking hope. She is here demanding justice. Ibrahim helps her to her feet. He promises her nothing with words, but his eyes carry a weight she understands. He returns to his vehicle, the photograph still in his hand. The convoy continues forward, but Ibrahim's mind has already turned backward. Something about her story feels wrong. Soldiers do not simply vanish, especially soldiers who report theft, especially from military supply depots. The meeting at the Ministry of Defense proceeds as scheduled. The Burkina Faso flag stands prominently behind the conference table as generals discuss border security and equipment requisitions. Ibrahim listens with half his attention. His other half replays the woman's words. Ouagadougou, supply depot. He asks a casual question during a break in presentations. Have there been any personnel issues at Ouagadougou depot recently? The room goes quiet for exactly 2 seconds too long. The logistics commander clears his throat. Nothing unusual. Standard rotation. All personnel accounted for. Ibrahim does not push further. Not yet. But he notes which officers exchanged glances when the question was asked. He notes who shifted uncomfortably. He notes who answered too quickly. After the meeting, he returns to the presidential office. The Burkina Faso flag waves outside his window as he pulls up personnel records on his secure system. He searches for Amadou Sanfo. The file appears normal at first glance. Active duty, good conduct record. stationed at Kutugu. Then he sees it. The status was updated 4 days ago, not 3 months ago when the soldier supposedly went missing. 4 days ago, the file was changed from active duty to administrative leave, backdated to appear as though it had been processed months earlier. Someone is covering tracks. Ibrahim opens a separate channel, bypassing normal military communication. He contacts a field intelligence officer he trusts personally, someone who operates outside the standard chain. He needs eyes on Kutugu Depot. Discreet, immediate. Report directly to him only. The response comes back within hours. The depot shows unusual activity. It's nighttime shipments, not listed on official manifests. Trucks arriving and departing without proper documentation. Security cameras on certain sections of the facility have been offline for weeks, marked as routine maintenance. Ibrahim's hands tighten on his desk. This is not about one missing soldier. This is about something systematic. Something organized. Something that requires protection from above. He initiates a formal audit of Kutugu Depot through official channels. Proper procedure, legal authority, everything by the book. The order goes through the Ministry of Defense administrative system. It should trigger an immediate inspection team deployment. 24 hours pass. No inspection team is deployed. The order sits in digital limbo, marked as pending approval from the logistics commander. The same commander who said nothing unusual was happening at Kutugu. Ibrahim makes a direct call. He does not ask permission. He orders the inspection. The logistics commander agrees with practiced professionalism. An inspection team will be assembled within 48 hours. Standard protocol for facility audits. All proper procedures will be followed. 2 days later, the inspection team arrives at Kutugu. They spend 6 hours on site. Their report lands on Ibrahim's desk that evening. Everything is in order. No irregularities found. All equipment accounted for. All personnel present and accounted for. No record of any soldier named Amadou Samfo reporting theft or going missing. The report is thorough, professional, detailed, and completely false. Ibrahim knows this because his field intelligence officer sent a separate report that same evening. The inspection team never examined the Western storage buildings. They never checked the manifests for nighttime shipments. They never interviewed the night shift guards. They stayed in the main administrative areas, reviewed prepared documents, and left. Someone had been warned the inspection was coming. Someone had time to prepare. Someone inside his own government is actively sabotaging his investigation. Ibrahim sits alone in his office long after darkness falls. The Burkina Faso flag outside his window is barely visible in the dim light. He thinks about the elderly woman on the road. He thinks about her son's photograph. He thinks about how many other families might be waiting for answers that will never come through official channels. He cannot trust the system on this. The system is compromised, which means someone with significant power is benefiting from what is happening at Kutugu. Someone who can alter records, delay inspections, and control information flow. Ibrahim makes a decision that breaks every protocol he has established since taking office. He will go to Kutugu himself, not as president, not with an official convoy, not with advance notice that gives anyone time to hide evidence. He will go quietly. He will go unannounced. And he will see with his own eyes what someone is desperate to keep hidden. 3 nights later, a single unmarked vehicle leaves Ouagadougou after midnight. Ibrahim sits in the passenger seat, his soldier uniform bearing no insignia of rank. 2 trusted intelligence officers accompany him. No security detail. No communication with government channels. No digital trail. They reach the outskirts of Kutugu as dawn approaches. The depot sits on the edge of the small city, surrounded by fencing and surveillance equipment. They park the vehicle a kilometer away, hidden behind an abandoned warehouse. They approach on foot, using the terrain for cover. The Western storage buildings are exactly where the intelligence report indicated, far from the main administrative complex. older structures that predate the current security camera system. They watch from a distance as a truck approaches the rear gate. The gate opens without any visible security check. The truck enters and backs up to a loading dock. 4 men exit the building and begin transferring crates into the truck. No paperwork visible, no manifest sheets, no official oversight. Ibrahim photographs the scene with a secure device. He zooms in on the crates, military medical supplies, packaged food rations, equipment marked with government inventory codes, all of it being loaded onto an unmarked civilian truck at dawn. The transfer takes less than 20 minutes. The truck departs through the same rear gate. The building is secured. The men return inside. Everything returns to the appearance of normalcy. But Ibrahim has seen enough. This is not isolated theft. This is organized diversion of military supplies. This is systematic corruption operating under the protection of falsified records and complicit oversight. He needs more than photographs. He needs documentation. He needs to know where those supplies are going and who is receiving them. He needs the evidence that will survive in court that cannot be dismissed as misunderstanding or administrative error. They wait until the facility returns to daytime routine. Ibrahim approaches the main gate, this time openly, this time as president. The guards scramble to attention, radios crackling with sudden panic. The depot commander arrives within minutes, his face pale with surprise. Ibrahim requests a complete tour. Not just administrative areas, every building, every storage facility. The Western structures included. The commander agrees with visible reluctance. He has no choice. But his hands shake slightly as he unlocks doors and leads the way. The Western buildings appear empty when they enter. Clean, organized, shelves stocked appropriately. Nothing suspicious visible. Ibrahim walks through slowly, studying every detail. The floor is too clean, recently scrubbed. It's the kind of cleaning that happens when someone needs to erase evidence quickly. He checks inventory logs mounted on the wall. The dates match official records. The counts appear accurate. Everything seems legitimate. But Ibrahim notices the paper quality. Fresh, new. Not aged or handled like documents that have been in use for months. He asks to see the security camera footage from these buildings. The commander explains apologetically that this section is still under maintenance. The cameras have been offline for routine upgrades. A technical issue. Parts are on order. Ibrahim asks when the parts will arrive. The commander cannot give a specific date. Soon. Definitely soon. The technical team is working on it. How convenient that cameras went offline just in these buildings. How convenient that the buildings Ibrahim was not supposed to inspect have no digital surveillance. How convenient that everything appears normal just hours after his intelligence suggested ongoing smuggling operations. Someone knew he was coming. Not the official inspection team. Him personally. Someone warned the depot between the time he left Ouagadougou and the time he arrived at Koudougou. Someone with access to real-time intelligence on presidential movements. The realization hits Ibrahim like ice water. The leak is not just in the logistics department. The leak is close. Very close. Someone in his inner circle. Someone who knew his plans before he executed them. He maintains his composure throughout the remainder of the tour. He thanks the commander professionally. He departs without revealing suspicion, but his mind is racing. If someone in his inner circle is compromised, then every move he makes is being reported. Every plan is being countered before implementation. He cannot trust his usual communication channels. He cannot trust his regular security protocols. He cannot even trust that his own office is secure. Whoever is behind this operation has resources and access that extend into the highest levels of government. The drive back to Ouagadougou is silent. Ibrahim stares out the window at the passing landscape. T thinks about the elderly woman. He thinks about her son who reported theft and disappeared. He thinks about how many others might have noticed the same thing and met the same fate. He needs a new approach. He needs to operate outside the system that is actively working against him. He needs to become unpredictable. He needs to force his opponent into making a mistake. Back in the presidential office, the Burkina Faso flag waves steadily outside his window. Ibrahim sits at his desk and opens a blank document. He begins typing false information. A fabricated plan to conduct surprise inspections at multiple military facilities across the country. He includes specific dates, specific locations, specific personnel assignments. He saves the document to a secure government system. The system that he now knows is compromised. He wants whoever is watching to see this plan. He wants them to believe it. He wants them to prepare for inspections at the wrong locations while he moves against the real target. Then he picks up a personal phone, not his official device. A simple civilian phone purchased quietly and registered under a false name. He sends a single encrypted message to his most trusted field intelligence officer. Ignore all official communications. Wait for alternate contact method. Operation continues under full blackout. 3 days pass. Ibrahim maintains normal presidential routine. Meetings, public appearances, official duties. He discusses the fabricated inspection plan with his senior staff, ensuring the false information spreads through compromised channels. He watches carefully to see who reacts, who makes unexpected phone calls, who suddenly requests scheduled changes. Meanwhile, his field intelligence officer operates in complete silence. No reports, no updates, no communication that could be intercepted. Ibrahim has given him a single objective: find where the supplies from Koudougou are actually going. Find the end destination. Find the buyers. On the 4th night, Ibrahim receives a text message on his personal phone. A single word: Gawa, a location. A town in the southwestern region of Burkina Faso, near the border. The message deletes itself automatically after he reads it. Ibrahim makes no immediate move. He continues his routine for 2 more days. Then he announces a sudden personal trip. He will visit his family's village, a private matter. Minimal security. He needs time away from official duties. The announcement surprises his staff, but no one questions the president's personal time. The convoy that departs Ouagadougou is small and discreet. But it does not go to any family village. It heads southwest, toward Gawa. Ibrahim has told no one the real destination. Not even his security detail knows until they are already on the road. They reach Gawa after nightfall. The intelligence officer meets them at a safe location. He provides a detailed briefing. The supplies from Koudougou are being transported to a private warehouse complex on the outskirts of Gawa. From there, they are being sold to private buyers. Some local, some from across the border. Military supplies diverted from government inventory and sold for personal profit. The scale is staggering. Millions in stolen equipment and supplies. Not just from Koudougou, from multiple facilities across the country. An organized network operating for at least 2 years, protected by falsified records and cooperative officials at multiple levels. The intelligence officer has documentation. Photographs of shipments, records of transactions, names of buyers, bank account numbers showing transfers. Everything needed to prove the scope of the operation. But the most important piece of evidence is still inside that warehouse. Physical inventory, crates marked with government codes, proof that cannot be disputed or dismissed. Ibrahim makes the decision immediately. They will raid the warehouse tonight. No advance warning, no official coordination. Just his small team and the element of complete surprise. If they wait, if they follow proper procedure, the evidence will disappear. The warehouse will be emptied. The trail will go cold. They approach the warehouse compound after midnight. The facility is secured, but not heavily guarded. Whoever runs this operation has relied on secrecy and official protection, not physical security. They clearly never expected the president himself to appear unannounced. Ibrahim and his team breach the perimeter. 2 guards are detained before they can raise an alarm. The warehouse doors are locked with commercial padlocks. They cut through them quickly. The doors swing open. Inside, the space is packed with military supplies, crates stacked floor to ceiling. Medical equipment, weapons, ammunition, food supplies, vehicle parts, communications gear. Everything marked with government inventory codes. Everything stolen from facilities across Burkina Faso. Ibrahim walks through the warehouse, his anger building with each step. This is not simple corruption. This is betrayal on a massive scale. These supplies were meant for soldiers defending the nation, for medical units treating wounded personnel, for operations protecting citizens. Instead, they were diverted for profit, while soldiers went without proper equipment. His team begins documenting everything: photographs, video, serial numbers, inventory counts, building an evidence package that will be impossible to refute. The work takes hours. Dawn is approaching when they finish. But Ibrahim knows documentation is not enough. He knows powerful people are behind this operation. He knows they will use every resource to discredit evidence, to claim fabrication, to protect themselves through legal manipulation and political pressure. He needs more than proof. He needs witnesses. He needs public exposure that cannot be buried. He makes a phone call on his personal device, not to government officials, not to military command, to trusted journalists. 3 independent reporters he has worked with before, professionals who cannot be intimidated or bought. He tells them to come to Gua immediately. He promises them the story of the year. He gives them exact coordinates. The journalists arrive within hours, driving through the night from Ouagadougou. Ibrahim meets them at the warehouse personally. He gives them full access, complete documentation, unrestricted photography, interviews with detained guards, everything they need to report the full scope of the corruption. But he still needs one more element. He needs to know who at the top is protecting this operation, who altered records, who blocked inspections, who warned the depot at Koudougou. The guards claim they only dealt with mid-level logistics officers. They never met the real power behind the network. Ibrahim orders his team to examine the warehouse office, computers, file cabinets, any documentation of transactions or communications. They work quickly, knowing time is running out. Someone will notice the security breach. Someone will realize the warehouse has been compromised. In a locked drawer of the office desk, they find a ledger, handwritten, old-fashioned, a backup record kept separately from digital systems. It lists transactions going back 2 years, dates, quantities, prices, and next to major shipments, initials, just initials, not full names. But Ibrahim recognizes one set of initials immediately. They appear dozens of times throughout the ledger, always associated with the largest transactions, always connected to the most valuable shipments. The initials belong to General Boubacar Sawadago, the logistics commander, the man who delayed Ibrahim's inspection, the man who declared nothing unusual was happening at Koudougou, the man who sat in meetings with Ibrahim, looked him in the eye, and lied repeatedly while stealing from the military he was supposed to serve. Ibrahim feels cold fury settle over him. He has the evidence. He has the proof. He has witnesses and documentation and physical inventory. But bringing down a general will not be simple. Sawadago has connections, allies in government and military, legal protections that come with rank and service record. A direct accusation will trigger massive resistance. Sawadago's allies will close ranks. They will claim fabricated evidence. They will accuse Ibrahim of political persecution. They will turn the situation into an institutional crisis that could damage the entire government. Ibrahim needs to be strategic. He needs to corner Sawadago so completely that no ally can protect him. No legal shield can save him. No political maneuvering can create escape routes. He returns to Ouagadougou with the journalists, following separately. He instructs them to prepare their reports but hold publication for 48 hours. He needs that time to set the final trap. The journalists agree reluctantly. They want to break the story immediately, but they trust Ibrahim's judgment. Back in the presidential office, the Burkina Faso flag waves outside as Ibrahim reviews his options. He could simply order Ouagadougou's arrest, but that would trigger immediate legal challenges. Ouagadougou would claim innocence. His lawyers would demand proof. The case could drag through military courts for months while evidence is challenged and witnesses are intimidated. Ibrahim needs Ouagadougou to confess, not under interrogation, not in a courtroom, but publicly, undeniably, in a way that makes denial impossible. He calls emergency meeting of the National Defense Council, urgent matter requiring immediate attention. All senior military commanders required to attend. The meeting is scheduled for the following morning. Mandatory attendance, no exceptions. Ouagadougou will have to come. Refusing would raise immediate suspicion. He still believes his operation is secure. He still thinks the raid on the warehouse is unknown, still assumes he has time to cover his tracks if anything goes wrong. That night, Ibrahim personally oversees the transportation of evidence from Gawa to Ouagadougou, not through military channels, through civilian contractors he hired privately. The evidence is secured in a location unknown to government officials, guarded by personnel loyal only to him. The next morning, the National Defense Council convenes in the main conference hall. The Burkina Faso flag hangs prominently behind the head table. 15 senior commanders attend. Ouagadougou sits among them, his expression calm and professional. He has no idea what is coming. Ibrahim begins the meeting by discussing recent security concerns, border issues, equipment needs, standard topics. Then he shifts the conversation. He mentions reports of supply irregularities at certain facilities, minor discrepancies. Nothing serious, but worth investigating to maintain proper accountability. He asks each commander to provide brief updates on their areas of responsibility. One by one, they report. Everything normal. Everything under control. No unusual issues. Then Ibrahim turns to Ouagadougou. He asks specifically about Koudougou Depot. Any concerns? Any irregularities? Any personnel issues? Ouagadougou responds smoothly. Koudougou is operating efficiently. All supplies properly accounted for. No personnel issues. No irregularities. Everything is in perfect order. Ibrahim thanks him for the report. He makes a note on his tablet. Then he continues to the next commander. The meeting proceeds normally. After an hour, he adjourns the session. The commanders begin to leave. Ibrahim asks Ouagadougou to remain behind. A minor administrative matter. Just a quick question, nothing urgent. Ouagadougou stays, waving off the other departing commanders. Once the room is empty, except for Ibrahim and 2 security officers, the atmosphere changes. Ibrahim's expression shifts. The professional courtesy vanishes. He looks at Ouagadougou with cold directness. He asks again about Koudougou. He gives Ouagadougou one more chance to tell the truth, to admit irregularities, to acknowledge problems. One final opportunity to show integrity. Ouagadougou maintains his position. Nothing unusual at Koudougou, everything properly managed. He seems confident. Slightly puzzled by the intensity of Ibrahim's questioning, but not worried. Ibrahim opens his tablet. He pulls up photographs. The Western storage buildings at Koudougou, the nighttime loading operation, the unmarked truck, the crates being transferred. He turns the screen towards Ouagadougou. The general's face goes pale. He starts to speak. Ibrahim holds up his hand. Not finished? More photographs. The warehouse in Gawa. The stolen supplies. The crates with government inventory codes. The ledger with Ouagadougou's initials. Transaction after transaction. Millions in stolen equipment. 2 years of systematic theft. Sawadago's mouth opens and closes. No sound comes out. His hands grip the table edge. His carefully maintained composure cracks. Ibrahim leans forward. He speaks quietly. Sawadago has one choice. Confess publicly. Provide full details of the operation. Name every official involved. Cooperate completely with investigation. In exchange, Ibrahim will recommend military trial rather than public criminal prosecution. Some dignity preserved. Some consideration for years of prior service. Or refuse, in which case, every piece of evidence goes public immediately. The journalists are already prepared. The story will break within hours. Full exposure, complete humiliation. Criminal prosecution with no consideration for rank or service. Sawadago sits in silence for a long moment. Ibrahim can see the calculations running through his mind. Can he fight this? Can his allies protect him? Can he create enough doubt to survive? Then reality sets in. The evidence is overwhelming. The documentation is complete. The physical inventory in Gawa is undeniable. His initials are in the ledger. His lies are recorded from this very morning. There is no escape. He begins to talk, quietly at first, then faster. The whole operation spills out. How it started small, just minor diversions. How it grew when no one noticed. How other officers joined. How the network expanded across multiple facilities. How millions in supplies were stolen and sold while soldiers went without proper equipment. Ibrahim records everything. The confession is complete, detailed, incriminating not just for Sawadago, but for dozens of other officials involved in the network. Names, ranks, specific actions, the entire conspiracy laid bare. When Sawadago finishes, he looks hollow. Emptied, he asks, "What happens now?" Ibrahim stands. Military police are summoned. Sawadago is taken into custody. Formal charges will be filed immediately. Court-martial proceedings will begin within days. But Ibrahim is not finished. The confession included names of other officials. More arrests are needed. The entire network must be dismantled. Not just the leadership, every participant, every person who betrayed their oath and stole from the nation. Over the next 48 hours, a coordinated operation unfolds across Burkina Faso. 23 military officers are arrested. 14 civilian contractors are detained. 5 government administrators are removed from office. Bank accounts are frozen. Assets are seized. The entire corruption network is systematically destroyed. The journalists publish their reports. The story dominates national news. Photographs of the warehouse. Details of the stolen supplies. The scale of the betrayal. The public reaction is immediate and fierce. Anger at the corruption. Respect for Ibrahim's decisive action. Demands for harsh punishment. But Ibrahim also ensures the story includes the elderly woman from Cumbia, her photograph of her missing son, her courage in stopping a presidential convoy, how her actions triggered an investigation that exposed massive corruption. He wants the nation to understand that justice came because one ordinary citizen refused to be silent. The woman is brought to Ouagadougou. She meets with Ibrahim privately in his office. The Burkina Faso flag waves outside as he tells her what they found. Her son Amadou had indeed reported the theft at Koudougou. He was killed to silence him. His body was found in a remote location during the investigation. He died because he was honest. Ibrahim cannot bring her son back, but he can ensure his death was not meaningless. He promises her that Amadou's name will be honored, that the reforms triggered by this investigation will be dedicated to his memory, that other soldiers will be protected when they report corruption. The woman cries, not just from grief, but from the knowledge that her son's integrity mattered, that his death exposed evil that would have continued destroying lives, that justice, however late, finally came. Ibrahim establishes new oversight systems for military supply chains. independent auditors with direct reporting to the presidency, rotating personnel assignments to prevent entrenched corruption, whistleblower protections for soldiers who report irregularities, digital tracking systems that cannot be easily manipulated. The reforms face resistance. Some officials claim they are excessive. Some argue they show lack of trust in military leadership. But Ibrahim is unmoved. Trust is earned. Accountability is mandatory. The betrayal was too deep to allow complacency. In the following months, additional evidence emerges. The corruption network had been operating even longer than initially discovered. More officials are implicated. More stolen supplies are recovered. The investigation expands into civilian government departments where similar schemes were operating. The public impact is profound. Citizens see that even the most powerful officials can be held accountable, that the president will act regardless of rank or connections, that corruption will be exposed and punished. It changes the calculation for every official considering theft or betrayal. But for Ibrahim, the lasting image is not the arrests or the reforms or the political impact. It is the elderly woman standing in the road at dawn, alone, vulnerable, armed with nothing but a photograph and desperate courage. She could have been ignored, dismissed, removed by security, and forgotten. Instead, her actions sparked an investigation that recovered millions in stolen supplies, that brought down dozens of corrupt officials, that reformed military oversight systems, that showed the nation integrity still matters. That one voice, even the weakest voice, can change everything. Ibrahim keeps Amadou's photograph on his desk, not prominently, not for show, but where he can see it when he works late into the night, a reminder of why he fights, why he cannot accept compromise with corruption, why every investigation matters, why every citizen deserves protection. Because the powerful will always have lawyers and connections and legal shields. But the powerless only have their courage and their hope that someone will listen. And if a president will not listen, if the highest office will not respond to the weakest voice, then the entire system fails. Then corruption wins. Then betrayal becomes normal. Justice is not just about punishing the guilty. It is about honoring the brave. The soldier who reported theft knowing the risk. The mother who stopped a convoy demanding answers. The president who chose truth over political convenience. Each of them made a choice. Each of them paid a price. Each of them changed the nation. The Burkina Faso flag waves outside Ibrahim's office as the sun sets on another day. The work continues. The corruption never completely ends, but the message has been sent. The standard has been set. The line has been drawn. And every official in the nation knows that line will be enforced without exception or mercy. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe for more videos like this.